Good to go.
Okay, sweet. What was I saying?
Hey, you were talking about before, like when you got into skiing, it was a different era, social media wise.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so I think I started really getting into skiing like 2013, 2014. Like that was around the time I like slid my first tube in a terrain park. And so like yeah, I remember like Instagram being a thing. I was a little bit slow to like fully get on Instagram. I didn't really start until like 2016. But yeah, like, there was no stories. There was no reels. Like I don't even think you could like share like yeah, like sharing links in your story, like you'd be doing that. Um, I don't know, like, but I think the important thing was like, yeah, like brands didn't necessarily know how to monetize it. And at that time, it was still like if you were doing a skiing video, you wouldn't even necessarily post it on YouTube or on Instagram. Like you would post it on New Schoolers actually would be the place where you get the most views. And that's kind of changed now, where Instagram, you can go viral. And then YouTube is probably a better place to post than New Schoolers right now. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's also like with the brands figuring out that like, oh yeah, we can really move product via Instagram. Um, that I mean, I don't know. I can't say if people were like athletes, like riders, were getting a better deal back then. I feel like they were like in 2014. Because like that was weird because that was when the Olympics became a thing for freestyle skiing. Because that changed a bunch. And before that, people were getting paid crazy amounts of money. But yeah, in like 2015, 2016, like when they hadn't quite figured it out, I don't know. But I think now it's like a lot of people they don't get paid. They get like free gear. Um yeah, it almost seems like maybe like, oh man, maybe a bit of a hot take, but it's almost like less people should be quote unquote sponsored because it's like so many people are getting free stuff, but not maybe as many people are getting like the resources that they need to do cool as there should be. And yeah, maybe if less people were getting free gear, but then the people who were getting the stuff were getting more. But I don't know. I'm not advocating taking away stuff from anyone by any means, but like I don't know. I think about these things.
I think about this type of stuff too, maybe not in the exact context of skiing, but I've definitely said a very similar sentiment where I say like brands and companies are giving stuff out, sponsoring, I guess, like so many people by hooking them up with like little pieces of stuff when they could be, rewarding fewer people, but like rewarding them with a livable wage or like stuff to like sustain doing the sport year round. So I agree for sure 100%, like 1,000%. And I definitely think about this stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, and for context too, like I do get free stuff. But I do not get free skis. I do not have a ski sponsor. And I'm down to buy skis if it's from a company that I like. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I was listening to a podcast where there's this pro skier who was on. He was saying back in the day he was getting like 100, I think it was $100,000 per year just off of his pro model his goggles, and then was getting like I think over 200,000 as just like a salary. And it's like I don't know who's making that money now. Maybe I don't know. Eileen Gu or someone is making crazy money, but I mean most people don't talk about it too, which is fair. But it's hard to know. Like, yeah, when you talk about a livable wage and yeah, I mean, I think if you're an American skier too, you're worried about health insurance and your sponsor is not gonna cover that, which yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, fair. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, a company is only as cool as the people who who ride for them. And in order to be considered like cool, you got to do some crazy stuff. And yeah, I know you're probably gonna end up in the hospital eventually if you keep doing crazy stuff. And yeah, so it's like I guess that's why it's a young person's game, right? Because your health insurance in the States until you're like 26, 27, or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Wild to think about.
You mentioned new schoolers. I don't know what that is. What is it?
Oh, okay. So new schoolers, they started up in like, oh man, I want to say like pretty early on. Maybe it was like the late 90s or 2000s. I should know this, but yeah, so they're basically a website for skiing. They have like a forum. And the forums are still active. People still post videos on there. But it used to be like the primary place you would go for skiing. I mean, I think especially back in the day, like YouTube is pretty good now for ski content, but back in the day, like their video player wasn't as good. Um, and now like, they have a relatively efficient algorithm. So if you go to YouTube and you go throw on a ski video, it'll probably recommend you another ski video. But yeah, back in the day it wasn't really like that. So everyone posted new schoolers. Um, so yeah, that was kind of like that was the place to go before social media. Like back in 2014, kind of when I first got on New Schoolers, it was like way more active, and you'd have pro skiers, you know, um, on the forums back then, um, saying whatever they wanted. Although now it's like a bit more tame. You don't see as many pros on there anymore. Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the long and short of it.
How how long you started around 2014? So how many years of new schoolers kind of being the source for the new info was there before it all kind of migrated onto Instagram and whatever it ended up migrating onto?
That's a good question. When did New Schoolers get founded? I'm gonna look this up right now. 1999. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I would say it was pretty dominant until at least like 2017, maybe later. So that's like, I don't know, maybe at least like 18 years then. But yeah, I mean, it was just like social media kind of changed it a lot. I think, yeah, like people started posting on YouTube more if you were making like an actual video. And then a lot of people don't bother to make like an actual video, like a video where you go out, you film on a proper camera, um, and you sit down and edit it on your laptop, and you spend a bunch of time thinking about what song to use and this and that, and then you post it. Like a lot of people, you go straight to Instagram with that stuff now, or at least a lot of people do.
What have you recently been doing with your filming? Like, where are you releasing that?
Primarily on YouTube, yeah. Whenever we have like a proper video, not just like a phone edit, yeah, go straight to YouTube, and then like I guess like cross post it to New Schoolers. Like you can post it on New Schoolers rather than like upload directly. You can just like, embed the YouTube video and then post it there. And then, yeah, I don't know. We occasionally make like phone edits and stuff, or like, usually when we post on Instagram, it's to promote something outside of Instagram, because that's kind of how I feel like Instagram should be used. Kind of like the same way with your podcast, right? Where like Spotify is the primary place where you upload it. I'm not sure if you upload it anywhere else, but then Instagram is just like you're trying to get people off the app ideally, which I think is cool. It's like you scrolling, you see, Nowhere Fast just posted, okay, let me go open up Spotify and listen to that. So that's kind of the same thing we're trying to do. We're like, yeah, like we just made a video. If you want, you should go on YouTube, check it out.
See, I love this because like I was telling you before we record, I always learn little tidbits from people in subcultures and then that's the first time I'm hearing it and then I can apply it to conversations later. So I've never had the opportunity to talk to someone involved with like the filming side of skiing that would explain like the different methods and channels for where things go and how things like get distributed. That type of stuff really interests me as well. Like in any culture, really, just like how people where things go and how it works on one platform and another one. Like, do you find like when you do sort of like tease something or post shorter form of longer video on Instagram, do you get a lot of people crossing over? Like, do people actually leave Instagram to go watch the full length?
Um, oh, it's tough to say. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of the people who watch our YouTube seem to be like a decent amount of them are like random people. Like, because I usually like will read the comments at some point and be like, oh, who's commenting on our stuff and what are they saying? And sometimes it'll be like something random, like an airsoft account, and they're like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I've never like I don't know. They're not familiar with skiing, but they're like, oh, this is cool. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the more like actual like skiers and people who are interested that see it. But then when you get random people, like that's cool too. I don't know how many of them appreciate it or like how many of your views are actually from people who are like had some intent to watch some ski videos and are down with it. Because like when you're posting on news schools, it's like only skiers who are going to see it, but then it's less people. But you post on YouTube and you get like, I don't know, a whole bunch of random people. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Instagram, sometimes it's like, yeah, you'll get like a bunch of likes. Like within 24 hours, you'll get like hundreds of likes. But then the YouTube video is still sitting at like 100 likes or something. And it's like, all right, a lot of you guys couldn't be bothered. Or like the reel is getting more views than it's on YouTube. And it's like, well, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, I've actually recently been thinking about this almost more than usual because I've noticed lately, I don't know what they're up to, but Instagram is always going through some change, and one metric is always outperforming all the other ones. But lately, I've had episodes that do extremely well, like streaming. Like, behind the scenes, I can see the plays like on Spotify or Apple or whatever. It's doing like almost it's breaking records. Like, it could be the best performing episode I've released. But on Instagram, it's doing like literally the worst of any post I've ever made. So it's like hard to like it doesn't correlate at all really. It just means people didn't want to like it on Instagram, but they're still opening up the real apps and listening to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I wonder why that is. I mean, I guess when you post, it's like tied to the Instagram of whoever you had on. And like, I don't know, maybe they're like Instagram is more low key and they don't have as many followers. But then like when people see it on Spotify and they're like, oh, like they see like the brief like description and they're like, oh, this sounds super cool. Let me click on it. But I mean, it's also like random too. Like, I don't know, who knows how these algorithms work.
Yeah, no, I'm like suspicious that what they do is like once you think you figured out what'll work, they pull it out from under you. Like I have a couple episodes do well, so I think okay, this is like I should replicate as much of this as possible, and then all of a sudden it completely flops on there. And it never really bothered me. It used to bother me a bit more, but now I've just kind of accepted that it has a mind of its own and you can't really add any reason to what's going on.
Yeah, man, like tell me about it. Like I've posted some stuff on YouTube and like looking back, I'm like, oh man, that was pretty far from my best work. But then it like will actually like do pretty well. And then I'll like have something I'm actually like pretty stoked on and it won't do as well. But I don't know. I don't really let it get to me anymore. I'm like, yeah, I think it was a good video. Um, or whatever, like I'm pleased with how it was. And if people don't like it, like whatever. There's at least a few people who do. So
So are you I should have asked this at the beginning. Are you from Edmonton? Because I saw you had some photos at the Mutard Conservatory.
uh no, I've actually never been to Edmonton. I would very much like to. I've been to Calgary.
That I saw some photos on your Instagram of you in like a glass, like it's like a greenhouse type of thing, and it looks identical to one that we have here.
Oh, is that the one with my girlfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to my girlfriend. Yeah, that's in San Francisco, actually.
that's really funny. I thought, like, I could have sworn it was here. I thought for sure, like, you were either from here or at least had visited to go to the greenhouse. That's funny.
Yeah, no, that was fun. That was a dope greenhouse. I think they like charged for admission, but I think I like finessed them somehow, like through being a student or something, or like they thought I was like a resident. I think residents get in free. I don't know. I forget how that works, but yeah, that was cool. But yeah, no, I would really like to go to Edmonton. Yeah, we never made it out this season. Closest I've been is Calgary, which is dope. Very fun city to film in.
What year was that when you were out there?
It was like this year. So yeah, that was my first time filming in Calgary. It was very nice. We were in Toronto as well, and it was like a night and day difference because the traffic in Toronto is so terrible. Um, Especially when, you got like limited daylight to film, and it's like every time you go to a spot and it doesn't work out, and then you got to go to the next one, it's like so much travel time. But then Calgary, it's like there's like no traffic. So incredible.
It's funny. I whenever I go to Calgary, the traffic kind of annoys me. But I guess like, compared to Vancouver and Toronto, it's probably a lot less.
Yeah, Vancouver, there's like congestion around the bridges during rush hour, which is, yeah, I mean, I thought I knew what bad traffic was, and then I went to Toronto when they had like almost like 2 feet of snow, and they don't really have like a proper grid system. So yeah, it would take like half an hour to drive like 5 kilometers. Like I don't even think that's an exaggeration.
How long do you usually spend like in these cities when you're on a filming mission?
Depends on how close it is to Vancouver. It's kind of like the further away from Vancouver we would go, the longer that we would stay. So like usually at least a week, maybe closer to 2 weeks. It also depends on the snow, right? Like like with Toronto, it's like we had to fly there. So it's like already have to book your flight back. Um, so you're kind of like locked in. Whereas like if you go somewhere, like if you drive out to Calgary or Kamloops or wherever else, and the snow is like sticking around, you can just like prolong your trip. But that's assuming you don't have like conflicts with like work or something like that, which happens.
Yeah, are you like when you went to Toronto, let's say, is that do you go based on the weather at the time? Like, do you look how things will be, or are you there when just when you all have free time and can get there?
Nah, nah, no, it's like I really did not want to go to Toronto. I wanted to go to Calgary or Edmonton, but Calgary and Edmonton did not have snow. Nowhere in Western Canada had snow. We wanted to go film. Toronto had snow. Like the whole East Coast had snow. And we were like, yeah, um, let's try and go to Toronto. So yeah, we just had like an emergency meeting of like, guys, what are we gonna do? Um, and then tried to figure out how many of us were free to go. And then we all just like the next day after the meeting, we all booked flights out there.
We had such a weird winter this year. We had like a record-breaking amount of snow in the first quarter of the winter and then almost no snow for the rest. So like by the end it was non-existent. And it had all kind of melted and it started out like a winter wonderland. It kind of reminded me of what it was like when I was young and by the end of it it was like a barren, like dirty brown winter. So yeah, I assume if you thought about coming here towards the end, there would have been no snow, and I don't know. I assume Calgary had like a similar winter. Our weather is pretty similar most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. It was yeah, yeah, I don't know. We just saw that Calgary was getting snow and it looked substantial enough. Um so I think I can't remember. We might have decided that we were going before the snow actually landed. Or I think maybe we waited to see checking all like the traffic cams to actually see like the snow accumulating on the ground, and then we're like, okay, like we should be good. But then the snow stuck around long enough for us to extend our trip a little bit, but then it was melting, so it got pretty tough. So there was like a relatively narrow window for us. But yeah, no, like uh the climate has definitely been like pretty unpredictable. Like last year in Vancouver, we had a decent amount of snow, and then normally it gets rained away pretty soon. But last year, like in 2025, the um the temperature just dropped and it just stayed cold for enough time that we basically had like I think almost like 10 days where we were hitting street in Vancouver. And then this year, like 2026, we did not get any snow. First year in like 40 years that there was like no measurable accumulation at YVR. So yeah, I'm definitely not optimistic for the future. Not to be a downer, but like yeah, definitely like you see things changing. Like year to year it can be different, but like overall the trend is not exactly promising. Like I'm assuming it's probably going to snow in Vancouver at least once next next winter, but I mean could get washed away, like you never know. So yeah, we'll probably be looking further afield. I think Edmonton is probably a good bet.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. I always love like whenever anyone for any reason can utilize Edmonton, like whenever people can like have fun here because there is some fun happening here for sure. I'm not like a full defeatist, but like it definitely gets a lot less fun than everywhere else. So whenever I hear like anyone coming here for any reason and using it for good, that's something I can be proud of. So hopefully it snows a bunch this year and you guys can put the city to use.
Yeah, no, I mean we'll see. I mean Edmonton seems super cool. Like um yeah, it's been interesting hearing about things from like Parker. I mean, I don't really know what the scene is like out there, but I think he was saying that like they had their premiere for their street video and they had like something crazy, like three or 400 people. And it's like, damn, that is impressive. That like that many people are gonna show up to go watch some skiing. Like that's super cool.
I've known Parker for a bit, but it was then actually I went. I have another friend who skis as well, and he asked my girlfriend and I if we wanted to come with him to this video. There was a few videos, and then there's Parker's was releasing, and it was really fun. There's so many people there. Like I was really impressed with the amount of people that they came out and supported that and stuck around and watched it, and that's kind of what inspired me to like get log an episode in with him because I was so impressed by like the turnout. I just wanted to hear more about what goes into that type of thing.
Yeah, no, Parker's the man. It's super cool what all those guys are doing. Um, yeah, like I mean, in terms of like, yeah, Canadians who are filming street, there's a decent amount of them, but a lot of it's all out on the East Coast. Which is cool, but it's super cool to see dudes doing it like a bit closer to home and in Alberta, our neighboring province. So yeah, no, shout out those guys. It was nice to meet some of them um at Sunshine Village. It's my first time skiing out there. And yeah, those boys are all like super, super nice guys. It was dope to talk to them.
Is there like how many other crews of people filming would there be in Vancouver?
Oh yeah, okay, that's a really good question. And I'm glad you asked. Yeah, not many. But yeah, there's this dude, Rudy Lapine, really, really dope skier, super nice guy. Um, him and his friends have filmed out here a decent amount. Um, so yeah, that was definitely when we were out, we always got to check like, oh, what did those guys hit? What did they already do a trick on this rail? And things like that. Yeah, and then there's also like there's a dude, um, another dope filmer, Joey Crab. and like he's got a group of guys like Will Fossum, Shawnee, Jacob Belanger. I don't know if they're like I don't know what they were up to this season, but they filmed in Vancouver too and in this area. Um, but yeah, other than that, like not much. If you go back and watch like some older ski videos, I've seen people hitting some spots in Vancouver, but yeah, it's not as common because I mean we're a bit out of the way and we don't get snow that reliably. So it's like it has to be kind of like a chance counter, I guess. Like, you gotta be in the right place at the right time or somewhere within a reasonable driving distance already when Vancouver gets snow because it's always like unpredictable. You don't really know in advance. Um, just by nature of like Vancouver being right on the coast. Like we get sometimes we get the forecast for snow and then it just ends up being rain and yeah.
Are you like born and raised in Vancouver?
No, no, no. I was born in England actually. Um I used to have a British accent and everything. Um Yeah, I sounded. It'd be cool if I used to have an accent like one of the guys in like the Guy Ritchie movies, like Vinnie Jones or something. But I
Yeah.
think in reality, I sounded more like Harry Potter. But I lost that accent at some point in elementary school. But yeah, I've lived here most of my life. Like grew up skiing here.
So what I know it's funny we were talking about people getting hit with all the generic like how did you start skiing type questions. But I'm actually quite curious how you started skiing, especially in a city with not much snow. Like what got you into all this in the first place?
Yeah, well, I mean, the local mountains are okay. Not definitely like not like world class. But like Whistler's not too far away. But yeah, I grew up skiing at Grouse. First time I ever skied was actually in my backyard. There was like a pretty small hill, so that was my first time clicking into skis. Just went down the hill. And then yeah, I don't know. My parents didn't really ski. Most of us, like most of my friends, our parents ski, but some of us like don't really come from skiing backgrounds. But like it kind of makes sense to at least like try skiing in Vancouver because like Grouse, Cypress, and Seymour, and they're both like pretty close to the city. So like skiing is quite accessible, relatively speaking. It's just like yeah, not the most exciting for me compared to like yeah, somewhere like Whistler, Revelstoke, or Red Mountain.
So like you got your start like uh sorry I'll fumble all the terms here. Like you were skiing like resort skiing and then when did street skiing like become a thing for you?
Yeah. Well, basically, like we all used to watch like um a lot of ski videos, like street skiing videos, and we wanted to do that, but it's kind of tough in Vancouver. Like it doesn't necessarily seem as achievable because it doesn't like snow here that much. It's like, yeah, if you live in like maybe like Salt Lake City or somewhere, there's a lot more like snow and spots and stuff. It's more of like a bit more established out there, I guess. But yeah, it would just like snow in Vancouver, and we would just like, you know, go out there, hit some rails, try and get some clips like when there was snow. But like we didn't go like out of our way that much because we were kind of trying it out. And then it got to the point, I think it was like 2023, where we were kind of thinking like, oh, we should probably go out and try and like film a video. It's like, more or less like off resort. So like not just like street skiing, but also kind of um going up kind of into like the side country or like like Mount Seymour for example, like when the chairlift stopped running, we'd go out there and like build jumps, hike up and shovel. But yeah, it was basically just the idea that like yeah, like if you make park videos, like that's cool, but the kind of like the pinnacle of it is like street skiing, really. Like skiing is fun and all, but it's like it's one thing to do a trick in the park, but it's another thing to do it in the streets. But then also like you get features like you get rails and ledges and things like that in the streets that like you would never get in a park. Like some of the rails that like street skiers hit will be like so big. I mean, sometimes like so dangerous that like no sane terrain park manager would ever put it in. Like you would get sued. But like also it's like more of an outlet for creativity, I guess. Like you can kind of use the terrain in different ways. So that was kind of a long-winded response. But yeah, basically we saw other people doing it in videos. We wanted to do it, and then eventually we were like, all right, like let's get out here and do it. So yeah, I think yeah, we started going to like other cities in BC that had more snow, like went to Kamloops, went to Nelson a few times, and then yeah, just like kept going from there. And then this recent season was like the first time we ever like took flights to go skiing. Like I had never taken a flight to go skiing in my life. So yeah, it was a weird situation pulling up to Toronto. Yeah, and it was funny too. Like they had so much snow. Our Airbnb was snowed in. Like the garage that we were supposed to park in, they'd plowed all the snow against it. So as soon as we got to Toronto, we had to get out the shovels and dig our way in, which is pretty funny.
You're saying we I wonder, like, is your crew been sort of the same since the beginning, or are there like new additions and subtractions along the way, or has it been like the core people all along?
That's another very good question. Yeah, subtractions make makes it sound like we're cutting people. You know, you didn't make the cut this season, sorry. Um, but no, like yeah, I mean, but yeah, like people do like move on and like have other things that they got to do. Like like for example, like we have our one of our guys, Ben Lynch. Um we used to film with him more, but didn't really get the chance to film with him that much like this last season. But you know, he went to the Olympics, he's competing for Ireland in halfpipe. So, you know, he's a pretty busy guy. So it's like stuff like that, or like, you know, people will maybe have to move like for work or something like that. But yeah, no, a lot of the people have been there since the beginning. Like um, I mean, kind of when we started, like there was me, there was like my brother Alex, like Leaf Wilson, Will Penrose, Stephen Connor, um, and yeah, they're all still involved. You know, they all got clips in this video that we're currently working on. So yeah, it's a lot of the same people, honestly. But then we always get like new additions. Like we had a dude who moved here from Sweden, and he was here a few years, and he filmed with us. Then he had to go back to Sweden, you know. So it's like stuff like that.
I mean, that's like probably the easiest subtraction to deal with. Like, is someone going to the Olympics or someone just moving home? That's better than like having a falling out with a friend or someone like moving on from the sport entirely.
Yeah, I mean, we've never really had like a falling out like that. You know, there's never been a situation like I don't know. We've never really gotten like bummed if someone is like, you know, is skiing as much or like you know has to move. Like, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, we just film with whoever's around and whoever's down to film. Like, I mean, I'll basically point the camera at anyone. It's not saying everyone's clips would necessarily make the cut. Like, you know, you won't see me very much in a lot of our videos, you know, for good reason.
Have you always been like that? Like you would rather film your friends and like put them in the video than like focus on yourself being in it?
No, no. I mean, I like skiing more than I like filming, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it was just like, I mean, okay, like most people in our group are like, you know, they're fairly competent with the camera. Um, you know, but yeah, it was just kind of a role I just ended up like doing more and more, I guess. Like yeah, especially like, you know, back in the day, maybe the Zodiac was as pronounced, but then, you know, a lot of my friends have gotten like crazy good at skiing. So it's to the point where like, you know, everyone's got to play their part and you know, I can offer the most help to everyone if I'm filming a lot of the time. So that's kind of what I do. My role is kind of like filming, carrying stuff around, booking the Airbnbs, that sort of thing. Not so much like a project manager because everyone plays their part, but yeah, I do what I can to help everyone out, basically. It's kind of my role. Occasionally I get in front of the camera. I like to ski. So sometimes, but yeah, it's tough, like especially when you're on a trip, you got a limited window to film. And it's tough to be like, yo, I have an idea for this trick or like this rail. So like we're all gonna drive over here, we're all gonna build it, and then I'm gonna do it because then like sometimes it doesn't work out and like you feel bad. That's why we started saying like everyone's got to stop saying sorry all the time because people be like, "Oh, sorry that took so long," or like, "Sorry, like I didn't work out." And it's like, nah, like you tried. You got nothing to be sorry for. Like, but yeah, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Am I gonna be like, oh, rather than someone else get a clip, I'm gonna go try and do something? It's like, no, like it's everyone's got to play their role.
Yeah, no, that's a healthy approach to it all. It's good to be like self-aware enough to like do things that way and be okay with it. Like some people might not realize that they're best suited for that role. You know what? It might like cause some butting of heads and stuff within the group, but it sounds like you're taking care of everyone and facilitating stuff. Like I assume everyone probably pulls their part, but without you doing all the heavy lifting, it might not go as smoothly for everyone.
Yeah, to an extent. I wouldn't like overstate my role. I think the boys would be pretty competent without me. But yeah, and I also don't want to come off like I'm bummed that I'm like stuck behind a camera. Like I like filming for sure, but it's just like, yeah, like I don't know. Would I like to ski a little bit more? Like, yeah, but it's also like, yeah, everyone's got to do their part.
What's your I mean, I don't want to like get in your head or stress you out of your past deadline, but what's your release schedule been like? Do you like to put out like one video every year?
Yeah, I mean that's the only sort of release schedule we have is that like yeah, it's basically it- yeah, it's basically like every season we try for like the last few years we try to film as much as we can like off resort or like at least like not assisted by chairlifts, where we're going out with shovels and we're, building everything or like, going out into the backcountry. Um, and that is like our main video. It's the stuff we start filming for in like, November, December, and then finish up in like May or June. And then we edit it during the summer and then we have some sort of premiere in the fall and then release it usually in like October or something. And then yeah, during the winter, like we'll film at like Grouse Whistler or wherever, just like on resort, like usually filming in like a terrain park. And then we'll just like edit that and then drop it whenever. But yeah, we don't have much of a schedule. There's a video I'm supposed to have edited. Um, and I have been slacking on that very hard. Like it's been months now. At some point, I will like finish it and put it out. But yeah, and then it's also like we might drop like a Instagram edit of like some phone clips every once in a while. But, like yeah, there's not really like a release schedule.
You guys do all the editing together, or at least having input on like the edits?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends. Like sometimes, like I'm not the only person who in our group who like has a camera. Like Leaf will film, Kai will film. Steven's made some edits as well. And like, yeah, sometimes they'll edit them and put them out. Sometimes I'll film it and put it out. But yeah, I never do it solo. I always get help. At least I want like input on like, are these like songs like, do you like these songs? Like, what do you think about this trick? Should I cut it? Should I include this one or that one? So I'm always getting feedback because I'm always like in my head about it. So yeah, like pretty much everything I edit, Alex sees it and he helps. Leaf and Steven, and like our other friends, Stove, Stephen Lindsay Ross, like they all help out on like the big projects too. So yeah, I always got people. Um, the helping me, like, or I mean, we're always like helping each other. I mean, that's the thing whenever you're really trying to do something in skiing, even though it is like a very individualistic pastime, like, you're not going to get anywhere unless you got like a bunch of people helping each other out, really.
Uh, I'm so curious. Do you spend more time filming or more time editing that footage?
Um, Damn, that's a good question. I think it depends. I think if I'm filming something like if I film a video of grouse, um, like we're just filming during a day or two or three, but it could just be like a couple hours a day. And so like the editing would probably be more than that, but I mean not necessarily. It depends like because sometimes like it's really easy to edit the video. Like you have some songs in mind and then you like see how they look with the clips and you're like, "Oh, this is great." Like I barely need to do any editing. Like boom. But then other times you're like stuck on it for a while. I mean for the big projects, like yeah, I don't know, spend a lot of time like looking through all the clips. And yeah, I mean like we're just like I mean we're editing like the whole summer, not every day for sure. But I mean I never keep track of the hours.
It's probably better that way. I don't. I purposely don't like track the hours I put in this too because I don't want to get in my head about how much input to output type thing is going on and feel like I should get more or less out of it. So maybe it's probably better not to track all that, especially if you're like me and you kind of like being in your own head.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, you could track the hours and then you'd be like, wow, like I spent so much time doing something that's like not exactly profitable. And you're like, damn, like, you almost start thinking that's a waste of time. But it's like, I don't know, like it's fun. And like, otherwise, what would you be doing? Maybe like in my case, like I'd be like just watching reels or just like chilling. I don't know. So yeah, I think it's good time. It's time well spent, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree. Like with all that, I also would really just be like burning time. Some of their less, like I would be contributing less without this. So, but still, I try not to track the exact amount of time and money put into it, just to not like overthink that in the end.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not interested in tracking the money. I mean, you probably know from like your previous guests, like this stuff doesn't exactly pay well in most cases. Like I was kind of thinking about the other day, I'm like, okay, how many hours like do we spend on this? And I was like starting to calculate it. And I was like, oh, okay, how much would I get paid if I was getting like, minimum wage in BC for this? Versus like, how much money we might get from like sponsors. And it's like, yeah, wow. But that's not the right way to look at it. I started doing the calculation. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, you only do stuff like this if you like enjoy it. I mean, because yeah, like skiing is not really like profitable. Like I once had somebody who like asked us, I think it was like me and my brother Alex and this dude who was a skier himself, and he was like do you guys like have like jobs and stuff, or like does skiing like pay the bills? And it's like no, like skiing is the bills realistically, or part of the bills, like that's kind of how it is.
Yeah. No, that is how it is, but I like for sure I like that the sentiment of skiing being the Bills.
Yeah, I mean like um we got some money last year um for the first time to make a video, and then we got some more money this year, which was super super grateful for. Still feels crazy, that was from Peak Performance and Arsenic, two companies I'm very fond of. um but uh but yeah, I mean it doesn't like it's not really profitable. Like if you were to break down the hours, it's like wow. But yeah, like you know, that's not why we do it.
How far, like, if you started in 2014, when did you release your first, like, uh, not full length, but like the first substantial video? Like, how many years into skiing was that video released?
Um, Whew, that's a good question. I mean, it depends on like how you define like substantial. Like, I think like in 2016, I was like compiling a bunch of, or 2017, I was compiling a bunch of like park footage and then making like one big like mixtape. And then it gradually got like a bit more, um, I don't know how to describe it, but like I think like 2018 was like the first time we were like hitting street in Vancouver, and then we would kind of make these videos that had like like mostly park footage with like a little bit of other stuff mixed in here and there. Um, but yeah, it wasn't, I mean, I don't know. We had a video called Conditions, that had honestly like some skiing in there that was like pretty good. Like I think the parts of that video that still hold up, but like as a video entirely, I wouldn't want to like show that to someone. Maybe I'd show them like parts of it, you know? Um, but then yeah, it wasn't until like maybe 2023 that we kind of like started doing it like I guess like for real, for lack of a better term.
I I always like to ask people this type of thing too in the question. I feel like suits you best because you're actually like making videos, so everything is sort of time stamped in that way. Like, how do you feel about looking back at old stuff? Like for me, I mean, I'm a complete hobbyist, but when I look at like photos I took a few years ago, I don't like them at all, really. I like would rather not show them to people. I've like kind of, I would like to think I've gotten better since then. So how is it for you, like looking back at older videos? You like the nostalgia and like learn from it, or are you kind of like, I don't like that it's old, like we're different now as a crew?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, man, it depends. It depends on the video, it depends on which part or which aspect of the video. I mean, like there's some videos I go back and watch and I'm just like, man, what the hell was I doing? Like this was filmed so badly. Um, like I don't know, even stuff from like, our video last year, I'm like, oh, I could have filmed that better. Or like, certain times I'm like, why did I choose that song? But then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that was actually a pretty good song. Or like, this is honestly like a decent segment. Like I'm enjoying rewatching this. But yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff I wouldn't necessarily like show to people. I'd be like, yeah, let's maybe watch one of the more recent videos. But yeah, it's like a mixed bag. I'm not like too bummed about it. I don't get like I'm not like embarrassed by most of it, I would say.
And like they're all up there, right? Like people can find them on YouTube,
Yes.
or do you take them down?
No, I don't think I've ever taken down anything on YouTube. Um And it's also like it is what it is. If there's some stuff that's like not that good, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was like maybe like 6 years ago or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like if you want to judge it, like, yeah, you're free to do that. But like, I don't know. Like a lot of people, their early work is like not as good, or like, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things you could be like, oh, the outfit I was wearing and that was terrible. But like, that wasn't a great trick that I did or whatever. Or like, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that's like stupid, but I like laugh at it. Like I made an edit back in the day, like I think it was like 2018 when I was talking to someone, I was like, yo, like trying to find a song for this edit I'm working on. And he's like, oh, you should like use this song. Like it's like the dope song. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. The song sounds good. I like the instrumental or whatever, let's do it. And then made the video. But then the song was like Plug Walk. And so like that song went like fairly viral right after that. It was just like every time I watch that, I'm like, I kind of cringe a little bit, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, fuck, like we didn't know what we were doing. Like it is what it is.
I like. I've seen someone I know had like a graffiti edit that ended up going like quite viral. And I think it was to some Drake song that like ended up getting really big. And looking back on it, it seems like really funny to choose that song, but it was the same sort of thing. Like I don't think they knew it was gonna get like so blown up when they originally put it in the video.
Yeah, no, that's why. I mean, it's a good lesson too. Like it's something everyone should maybe go through at some point if you're like, if you're editing videos, is like you kind of have that moment where you're like, okay, I should like pay attention to like how well like aspects of this video are maybe going to hold up, you know? Like I don't know. I think that's important, to be like to be a bit more discerning. But you can only really or usually you learn that through experience. Maybe some people out the gate that's like intuitive to them, but yeah, I don't know. I think for all of us, like, we had to learn.
For sure. I like it's a skill, like a huge skill in itself to be able to kind of like see that type of stuff happening beforehand and knowing like, that song or that location or whatever might not look good in the future. I think I can be guilty of it too, really not like thinking that critically about stuff and then having it work out like bite me a little bit later. But I have friends that are way more dialed in and they can kind of see that before it happens. I'm always envious of them.
Yeah, no, and like I feel like when you're making creative decisions, like, choosing music or whatever else, it's like, you're gonna have hits and misses. Like you can't please everyone, and like, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes. But I feel like as long as you're thinking about it and you're sort of casting a wider net in terms of what you're trying to get inspired by, and like in the case of music, a bit more active and like trying to discover like, new artists and or different artists, different genres of music, like then I feel like in the aggregate you like won't really go wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, no, it for sure does. Um, where like we're talking about cities that you've either been to or aspire to go to in Canada for street skiing, but where, like, based on what you know, which city is the most advanced right now?
In Canada
Yeah,
or
Canada.
why? Probably Montreal. Um, but that's a double-edged sword. I'll like, explain my thoughts on that. So like Montreal kind of has the most history behind it. There's like we were talking street skiing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, street skiing specifically. Okay, yeah. So like in terms of street skiing, yeah, there's like so many like iconic spots and like you can go far back into the archives and like yeah, like so much has been done. Um so like yeah, like Montreal I think has to be number one. But that being said, like if you're trying to go and film in Montreal today, you got to be cognizant of all the stuff that people have done because it's kind of like, I mean, it's not like the hardest rule in skiing. I mean, no one's like enforcing it strictly, but if somebody did a trick on a rail and they filmed it and it's up in the video somewhere, you should probably not do that same trick. It's not, it's like not cool, I guess. But like that is kind of inevitable because it's like, yeah, no, you're going out trying to get whatever clips you can, and you might easily forget, like, this like you got to have a lot of knowledge. I mean, like we've like yeah, like you gotta remember all stuff and and ask around and be like, yeah, yeah, okay, you seen this spot before? Like, do you remember what tricks went down on there? And like, yeah, you might forget, like it happens, and then it's like, oh, whoops, or you think no one's hit it before, and then someone has. So yeah, so that's why it's tough filming in Montreal. You got to be like looking out for some new stuff.
That's another thing is really like kind of you to be aware of that. Like, I feel some people might not notice or care about that type of thing, like filming at spots and doing tricks that have kind of already been solidified by other people. It's nice to have that respect.
Yeah, well, it also depends too. Like, I feel like if you're just like say like some random kid, like I don't think, and you happen to like, go do something that's already been done, like no one should be hating on them. Or someone who's like more at like the amateur level, where like I wouldn't call us like professional by any means, but like, if we're trying to make like a good video, we should avoid that, right? I think anyone who's like, I mean, not like taking it seriously, but like, if you like care about doing something like good and like proper, like we do, or like Parker and the Coop guys do, like yeah.
Have you I just like don't name anyone or throw anyone under the bus, but have you seen people not really abiding by those guidelines? Like, are there people who kind of like tear through towns and kind of like step on people's toes that way?
No, not really. Like, I mean, it just naturally happens that like you'll forget that somebody hit this rail before, or you will like not have made the connection, and then it's like, oh, whoops. Like that happens to a lot of people. Like you got to be pretty on top of it. But I don't know anyone who's been like wildly disrespectful. I think in terms of like stepping on toes, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like that like serious, it's not really comparable to um maybe some other things. Like there's no, like I don't think people really have beef with each other like that. Like I don't even think like skiers and snowboarders really have beef that much these days either, you know? Like we were out in Calgary and we ran into some snowboarders, and like it was great. Like they were super nice guys. We got their Instagram or whatever, and like we exchanged Instagrams and stuff. Like they're super nice guys. So it's like, yeah, like I don't know, like most people won't be like, oh man, like what are you doing here? Like this is our spot. Occasionally people will be very weird though, but I would say it's more like the exception to the rule now. I think because yeah, like not to digress too much on the subject of skier and snowboarder beef, but I think most people are like reasonable people, and they kind of realize, all right, we're doing something that's like definitely more similar than it is different, like you know. But yeah,
Where like even like 10 or 12 years ago when you were getting into it, was there more animosity between skiers and snowboarders? Like, has it turned into more of a harmonious thing? Like, did you have more issues between each other when you were first getting into it?
that's a tough question to answer. I mean, I can only speak really to my personal experiences, and like when I was younger, um, I like didn't talk to as many snowboarders really. And it was kind of only as I got older, I started like, talking to people at the local hill more. Um, and like, and then from there, it's like, yeah, we don't really have any problems. So yeah, I would say it's probably more harmonious now, but I mean, like you never know. Like there was that whole thing with like, Torment, the snowboarder magazine. They did an interview with a group of street skiers, and like had their video on their website and everything. Which was I think it was like the first time they ever posted like skiing on their website. And there was a lot of people getting kind of angry about that. A lot of people thought it was cool too and liked the video a lot. But some people did not like that. But it's hard to gauge. It's like, well, it's easy for people to get angry on like Instagram or on the internet. But yeah, I mean, like in real life, most people are pretty chill, I find.
Yeah, everything seems to, even like the subcultures that I know a bit more, I can see like years ago there would be less or like more friction between like the two subsects. of that thing, but it seems like these days people get along a bit better, which is a good thing for sure. But like whenever I talk to, like the skater rollerblader thing, or I guess scootering is the one that will probably always remain kind of frowned upon, but everyone else seems to get along a lot better now than they would have even like 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's definitely how it seems to me.
What do you do like outside of skiing? I assume that preoccupies a ton of your brain, but what do you do to not think about skiing?
Um, yeah. What do I do? Um, yeah, in the summer I've been bouldering a decent amount. Mostly I climb indoors. I'm not like super into climbing, but it's like I I need some sort of physical activity and I like that because I can like use my brain, but I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, just like outside of work and everything, like I don't know, I read a decent amount. I started painting again. I'm not very good, but I've just been trying to like churn out some ski paintings, stuff like that,
What kind of painting?
like acrylic paintings.
Is that like something you did when you were younger? Like you're getting back into it? When did the hiatus come about?
No, like I did not paint when I was younger. I think like I think I started painting a bit when I was like 18 and then I just like stopped doing it for a while and then like picked up the brush recently and it's like pretty fun. It's pretty relaxing. It's a nice thing to do at the end of the day. Yeah, I play chess a lot too. I'm like on chess.com. Um, I don't know. I kind of like I'm sort of like susceptible to the gambling mindset. And so with like, chess.com, it's like when you lose a game, your rating goes down. When you win, your rating goes up. So it's like, you get on a losing streak and you're like, okay, man, like I just need to win two more games. And then, and then I'll be back in the green or whatever. But then you end up like deeper in the red. So, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I like playing chess a lot.
That must be why you have the patience to film, like put out a video once a year. You probably learn a lot of patience from chess.
It's hard to say though, because I mean the games are timed, so you do have to like think pretty quickly. So it's honestly like it's almost more like stressful. But I mean I do like I've been coaching skiing a lot in the winters, and I think that has been really good for my patience, dealing with kids. Like they're great, but like yeah, it's you definitely have to be patient with them.
What was the last good book you read?
Um, let me see. I read a few books lately. Some of them were kind of mid. I read this book. It's called Say Nothing. It's kind of like it's a history of like the Troubles in Ireland. Um, so like a lot of like IRA stuff. You know, brutality by the British Army, and then you know cycles of violence. Not the most like a heartwarming book by any means. It was a pretty depressing read, but like super interesting. Yeah. I don't know. That's probably the best book I read recently.
Is that the type of stuff you always like to read, or are you all over the place?
Kind of all over the place. It's like easier to read fiction, I find. Like I like reading nonfiction books, but sometimes it's like I'm pretty bad with like starting a book and not finishing it. Like I think I had like there's like five books that I started reading like this summer and like didn't finish. Um, so especially with nonfiction, sometimes it's like kind of tough to get through when there's not really like a narrative. But some nonfiction books are kind of written with like more of a narrative and they're like easier to follow, more like a novel. But yeah, no, I started reading a book, it's called like Filth. It's by the I forget his name. It's the guy who wrote like Train Spotting. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll read whatever.
That I don't mind reading either. I've been trying to read more, but I'm just trying to imagine having 5 books on the go, and I could never do it. I would never remember the plot of the first one spread across that many. Like, do you forget them, or can you pick them up later and kind of start where you left off?
Yeah, it depends on the book and depends on how long. I mean, some of those books I'm probably never gonna finish, or maybe I will. Sorry, maybe I will one day. But like, um, then if I come back to it after too long, I'll go to start from the beginning again. But I mean, it depends. Like I was reading like a biography of Fidel Castro, and like I feel like I could like because I know like the overall story, like I could pick up from where I left off pretty easily. But yeah, some other books depends on how complicated the plot is, really.
That yeah, I admit, even if the plot was insanely simple, I could never. I would have to start again too. Like if I started another one, went back to the old one, I would probably have to start from page one, just like retain or like remember any of the stuff happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough these days. I mean, I feel like I don't know, like having a phone has definitely done like oh, man, I mean, it sounds harsh to say like psychological damage, but I think like back in the day, I definitely used to read more than I do now, and it's kind of sad. But
Yeah. I used to love like when I was younger, like a kid, even a young adult, I read like crazy, and then the fast forward is now, and I like didn't even notice it happening, but the phone just kind of like took over for all that, and I try to be on my phone as little as possible, and even I would admit it definitely kind of rewired everything for me.
yeah, no, for sure. Like when I was younger, it's like, yeah, you'd like go to bed kind of early and like, I don't know, you wouldn't really have anything to do. Like you're not, I didn't have like a TV in my room or nothing. I didn't have a phone. Like I'm not gonna watch a movie. I'm not gonna like watch reels. Like, all I can do is read. So yeah, like I would. But now it's like, yeah, you gotta actually like carve out time to do it. And yeah, it can be kind of tough.
Yeah, it's hard, but always like very rewarding. Like when I do kind of convince myself to sit down and read for a bit, I always love it. It's just harder and harder to like find the time and the like focus.
Yeah, I find it's usually rewarding. I mean, sometimes like you'll sometimes I've like finished the book and I was like, damn, that was a waste of my time. Like Infinite Jest, like I got through that entire thing. It's like, I don't know, it's a thick book, like 800 pages or something, and I got to the end and I was like, I don't know if that was really that good of a book. Like, I read it because I heard people talking about it and I'm like, oh, it must be good. And then I was kind of and parts of it were good, but yeah, no, did not really like that book. Um, so yeah, sometimes you got to start a book and then realize it's not worth your time.
And the page count terrifies me. Like anything even close to that long, no matter what people say about it, and no matter how many people recommend it, like I just 800 pages scares me too much. I couldn't commit to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I should though. Like it might be. I mean, that might help breaking the muscle memory of scrolling all the time if I read a super long book that kind of intimidates me.
Yeah, no, it's good. Even if the book is like not that good, it's still better than being on your phone. But yeah, like I've been wanting to read Gravity's Rainbow. I started it a while ago and yeah, I just it was too much for me, but one day I'll read that. But
Well, I'm looking at the time. I don't want to eat up any more of your evening than I said I would normally. These are always in the day, and I feel sort of less guilty about taking up someone's time, but knowing this is like the end of your day and you already worked a full shift, I'm like every minute that goes by, I just feel like I'm rambling on to this guy when he probably just wants to have a nice Friday night.
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, I'm just gonna be chilling the rest of the evening. I think I'm pretty tired. But yeah, no, it was nice to talk to you. I mean, felt a little bit weird talking about myself so much. I mean, especially like, you know, like um when I don't know, like I'm only able to do what I do in like skiing because like, my friends are, they're so dope and like yeah, I don't know. So like shout out to them because like they're the people who got like kind of like the real talent, like filming's cool and all, but like at the end of the day you need people who are like down to do stuff. And yeah, so yeah, if we're going out on a positive note, shout out to them for sure.
That's I mean, some people like there's no one I'm thinking of specifically, but there are people who love talking about themselves. And I mean, that's kind of the idea of this is I invite people to come on and talk about themselves for an hour. So that's kind of how it always goes. But it's nice when people have the sentiment of like they wouldn't be able to do what they do with their friends and everyone kind of pushing it all forward. Not enough people and not enough guests kind of take time to shout out their like friends at the end of it. So I love that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, no. Too many to shout out by name. But yeah, no. They all know who they are and yeah. Who knows? Maybe some of them would be down to come on the podcast. You never know.
Yeah, that I mean, if you have any friends, anyone, a friend of yours is a friend of mine. If you have anyone in mind, I'm always open to conversing with anyone and learning a bit about what they're up to. But I would have forgot though before we hop off. Do you want to take a minute and let anyone listening know where they can find you or any of your videos, whatever you want to promote right now? The mic is all yours. Please go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Probably probably best place is just the YouTube. If you go in like at chef 2862, um the numbers are of no significance. But yeah, that's where you'll find all of our stuff on YouTube. So yeah, that's if I'm gonna plug anything, it would be the YouTube.
You know what? I've been thinking a lot about media, and I was complaining. I guess we both were complaining a bit at the very beginning of our talk, but I I think YouTube is probably the best place on the internet right now as far as like platforms and like promoting your stuff. It really I've been kind of regretting not like going harder on YouTube this whole time because I kind of feel like Instagram is like going away, and that was kind of what I focused on more. So it kind of, in the end, it feels like it was almost not worth it. But YouTube, I've been on there a lot too, so it's good to send people that way. I'm sure, like that's where all your like best content is anyway.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm a big fan of YouTube. I'm not a fan of all the ads though. Like
Yeah.
my ad blocker takes care of that, fortunately, but obviously like doesn't work on my phone. So I mean, yeah, that's my only real beef with YouTube. Other than that, I mean, it's great. They don't block any of our videos for like using other people's media. I mean, obviously we're not like monetizing them, but yeah, shout out to YouTube.
Yeah, actually, I was always curious about like the music. I've heard a bunch of horror stories that like pull people's videos for having like the tiniest clips of someone else's song. But you've been good always. Huh?
Yeah, no, we've been good. I think we've had some videos that have been like blocked in Russia specifically. I don't know why. Um, but no, we've never had anything like taken down. I know Vimeo was bad for that. Like a lot of people used to post like ski edits on Vimeo, and then like I don't know what happened, but like one day I guess someone at Vimeo woke up and they were like, yeah, a lot of these videos need to go. So a lot of ski videos actually got lost to the depths of time, because they had like copyright music. So hopefully that never happens.
I had someone who like runs the I think content and a bunch of other stuff for Burton Snowboards on here a couple of months ago, and they were saying the exact same thing that like one day someone at Vimeo just decided like everything, all the snow stuff like that was infringing on copyright had to go down, and so many videos got removed like within a week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would necessarily happen with YouTube at this point, but I mean, yeah, it's always good to have your videos backed up somewhere because you never know.
Yeah, of course. All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening and the weekend, and keep in touch. If you make it out here, I would love to show you around outside of snow if you guys had time. But good luck with everything going on. It sounds great. Thank you so much for taking a minute to answer all these random questions.
No, it was great, dude. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, like likewise, if you're ever in Vancouver, hit me up. And hopefully I'll make it out to Edmonton one day
Yeah,
next year.
yeah, of course. Cool. Thank you.
All right, peace, dude. Thanks.
Peace.